Now there's a guy I've been waiting to see. There he is. There he is.
Ken Ubetcha.
Hey, buddy.
Ken Ubetcha. Good to see you, pal.
Double T to the 3. I have missed you.
God, you too.
Damn, you look good.
Thank you.
You look good.
Thank
Did
you.
you lose some weight over the off season?
A little plyo.
A little bit?
Plyometrics.
I'll tell you what, that works. I almost thought you were on the X.
What can I say?
On the X for a second.
I tried it. I thought I'd go back to plyo.
Looking svelte. Looking svelte. Good to be back. Good to be back. Sorry I missed you last week, but you know where I was.
I do.
Had that bowling tournament for charity. My favorite charity. I'll tell you what. I rocked that tournament.
Did you?
I did.
Did you?
You know what this means? Do you know what this is? This is my bowling form. You know what it means if I'm doing this?
That's 10 pins.
10 pins just fell down.
Yeah.
10 pins just fell down.
I've seen that before.
That was a good time. I'm sorry I missed you. It was a good time though.
Well, look, so long as you're supporting the cause, which is for the fans.
Well, of course the cause is, you know, poor, broke women who just can't afford breast implants. I mean, you know how I am. You know, it's not their fault that God said no to their boobs. Not even a little.
I think we all know where I stand on this.
Definitely. I think we know where you stand on this issue.
Certainly a good cause.
And you were mentioned quite a bit in the banquet afterwards.
Really?
Yes, after I won.
Throw some numbers out there for me?
There's some.
Okay.
There's a few.
I'm waiting patiently. All right.
You're not going to be waiting too long.
That's fantastic.
Not too long.
That's fantastic.
But I tell you what, I'm excited to get to work. God, I missed this.
It's good to have you back. It's good to have you back. I should note, short story / sad news about our friend Dick.
No kidding. You filled in for me last week.
Yeah. Good. Did a good job.
Oh, I caught the show. Great job.
Yep.
Great job. I like Dick. He's fantastic.
Dick had an incident at the club.
No. I mean, that's always the problem when you comes to this city.
Yeah.
If you come to this city, you're gonna go to that club.
I know.
So I mean,
and you wear that jacket. I mean, you wear that jacket, that Dr. Pepper pupper.
I'll tell you, he's the victim if you get down to it.
Right. Yeah.
You get down to it. So tell me what happened.
Well, he I don't know what you just lost there.
That was my coaster. You didn't get.
That's fine.
See my bowling coaster?
Of course.
I come back with prizes.
Sure.
Tell me.
Well, Dick had an incident with bar cart girl.
Like he does.
Yeah. He a little too handsy.
Oh no.
You know, and as of right now, it's just a harassment suit.
Sure.
We got our best men on it.
Oh, then that's where it'll stay. Then.
Best men on it.
That's where it'll stay.
But we really can't.
That's fine.
You know, we're not really sure where it's going to go at this point. She's pushing for something a little more.
Sure. Well, what? He's in the media.
I mean, right.
And he's good looking.
Right.
He's a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know? And I bet you anything she didn't lead him on.
Of
course not. No.
Right.
No.
So I mean, we'll see where he's at.
Sure.
Hopefully, we'll
keep you updated. That's for sure. I know you're all concerned about Dick.
Yep.
That's fine. We'll keep you updated.
We'll see what happens there.
We got guys though. I bet you he'll be okay.
Yeah.
He'll be okay. Let's jump in.
Shall we?
Oh, I'd love to.
All right. I've got a few notes from the commish, of course.
Of course.
A little.
Can't keep him out of the show.
Notage. Fees. Fees are actually shockingly, for the first time in 5 years, pretty solid.
Oh, absolutely.
Couple guys short, but otherwise, week 2 we're almost paid up.
Economy's getting a little better.
Can't ask, right?
Oh, I mean, how long does it usually take?
Right.
It takes some time to collect all the funds, but guys are on top of it this year. This is for real. I like it.
I mean, I'm really proud of the league this year. So,
yeah. Good job, everyone. They should all feel proud.
Yep. Way to go, boys.
Makes our job a hell of a lot easier.
Yep. Tell me about it.
Darn bitch every week.
Yep. I mean, one time we actually had a guillotine in the background just to.
Well, you know, you got to send a message somehow.
Right.
Jesus.
Right.
Oh, good job, boys.
Yep. So good work.
Job.
Good work by you.
Your tab.
I was gonna save this for last, but let's just give a shout out to Penn State Daycare.
Penn State Daycare. Not only the league's best name.
I mean, I would argue the best name in fantasy football.
I mean, it's
across the nation.
It's edgy. It's current. You know,
risky kind of,
but it hits home.
Man, is it fun!
Oh, is that good? And not to mention the fantasy owner.
Right.
He's a good-looking guy.
I mean, he is arguably the best facial hair in the league. I would argue.
How do you get better?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if whether there is or is not a better facial hair in the league. He's top 2, 3 for sure.
By name alone, he deserved the score he got. And that's for goddamn
right.
sure.
Congrats on your high points, David.
Beautiful.
We commend you. By 1 in a high points league.
Absolutely, and that's
over Benny Ives.
That's almost unheard of.
Who I poo-pooed last week.
Yep.
I said he was terrible. I believe Dick said he was terrible.
He did. He did.
And he shoots a 746, I think.
740. It was an airplane.
Right.
It was an airplane.
Right. To Dave's 747.
Dave's 748.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. By a point. By a point. Outsoared a jet.
It's impressive.
Seriously.
It's impressive.
Oh, it was great.
So Dave.
That was great.
Congrats.
You the man.
And I forgot to do this last week, and I feel shameful about it. Ken, if you just let me have this.
Of course.
We've got to give a shout out to the Lexington League over there in Minnesota for giving us the idea to put this whole thing together. And their #1 super fan, who's not even in the league, by the way, Dunbar. Dunbar's not even in the league.
Nope.
He's just a big fan.
In spirit, though.
Really appreciate you guys putting that thing together last year, giving us the idea. We just hope that our humble little show here over on the Sports Rendezvous can give you a little joy over there at the Sports Lounge. That's all we ask, right?
I mean, that's all we can ask for.
Heck of a job for you guys.
Oh, just a sensational job.
Let's hop right in. Here's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna go real quick. It's gonna be a much shorter show than last week, we promise. We've got our Week 1 recap. Okay, quick fire, few notes. Then we've got an interview with a special guest, and I think we're not going to give you who it is now, but it could only be one man.
Hard not to say it, though. Hard not to say it. I'm excited. Oh, my God.
I'll tell you, it can only be one man, and I got a feeling he's going to knock it out of the park.
I can't believe I didn't tweet about this.
Really?
I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah, I know
you know how I
like
am. You know how I am.
Yep. Way to hold it in.
Oh, I mean...
You know, I would have thought you're whispering.
I know a secret. You know, I know a secret.
Right. I thought they just would have reached out and just...
I can't believe it wasn't pulled out of me.
Yep. So we got that. We have a nice... I mean, that interview might be a little lengthy, but it's worth it.
Quality.
We're gonna be...
Quality.
We're gonna have a good time with it.
All right.
And then lastly, of course, we're gonna end with the Week 2 predicts.
Absolutely. I'm a little behind in that, but I bet you I'll catch you.
Yeah, that's okay. Send me an email. I got your email.
You know, did ya?
Well.
You got it this time.
I'm very busy.
You don't get that last 6 points because I didn't even get that. I don't want to hear that again.
It's tough to.
I want to hear that again.
Yeah, I'm very busy. I got a lot of irons in the fire, as you all know. But we'll take care of business.
We will.
I have no doubt that we'll catch up there.
Oh, I feel confident. Confident. I mean,
yep.
Well, you know.
Right. So okay, shall we just launch in?
Let's do this.
All right. Last week's games.
Great first week. Good Week 1.
Yeah, it was wild. Wild. Well, there was some kind of a low-scoring week.
You know, it was, actually. But I think everybody had a bit of the first week jitters.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I'm sure we'll go into some players like Mike Vick and even Tom Brady and some of these guys. They didn't overperform by any goddamn means, but they're superstars.
Tom Brady, 256, 2 touchdowns.
Sure.
But I mean, that's a quality day.
Lot of 500 scores.
Yeah, weird.
Lot of 500.
We've grown accustomed over the last year to like high 6s, 7s.
Yeah.
I mean, the champs, they were scoring like in the fucking 8s, it seemed, every week.
In the playoffs, they had over 1,000. I've never seen that.
Right.
I've never seen that. But the thing is, there wasn't a lot of big plays, and that's what this league is about.
Right.
You know, Pierre Garçon, sure, he had a good big play, but...
Left in the second quarter.
Overall, yeah, but then he was done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 63-yard field goal maybe, but that's, I guess, a big play for a kicker.
In Green Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, the first time it's happened outside of Mile High.
Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck that is.
Thin air versus frigid air. Oh, you're right.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's in Vesco Field at Mile High, but it's at... You had where it was at.
Of course I did.
Doubt yourself.
Right, I know. What a mistake.
You're better than that.
All right, so here we go. Forget Favre, DeChamps. Surprised DeChamps changed his name. I mean, I understand you're the champs, but you've been there before.
Sure.
You've been there before. The bad news, you ride the bad news bears, and...
I mean, you know my rule, never trust a diabetic, but tell you what, he played a hell of a lot better than Schaub did, when you have a quarterback matchup. Cam Newton didn't really do what we expected, but, decent,
Right.
real decent, and especially a couple guys with putting up a pair of 7s.
Yeah. Freddie Jackson's a tough loss. That's
Oh,
a tough
sure,
loss
sure.
for Henry.
But Andre's solid, and I think that's what really helped.
Wasn't
him
it
here.
great to see him again? I mean, be a real football player again.
Always is.
My God, is he a man?
He is.
I mean, I actually, and I mean, obviously, again, I like women quite a bit, but Andre turns
Maybe a
me
little
on
too
a
much.
bit.
Well,
You see him catch that football, and
I mean, what a professional. I mean, he's almost ageless.
holy smokes!
I mean,
is
he did
good.
better than all the receivers on Forget Favre's team.
Yep.
Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, Henry, you start Freddie Jack as you should. Goes out. I mean, literally his leg is fucking turned upside down. Trent Cole, rough start. I mean, DeQuell Jackson returns a fucking INT.
Sure.
Also, just, I mean, literally looks like a man among boys.
And, I think Forget Favre. I think your downfall this week is you had 3 quality running backs. You didn't know Fred Jackson was going to get hurt, but you had 3 quality running backs, and you didn't flex that guy. You didn't flex Ahmad Bradshaw. And you know my rule.
Yeah.
Wide receivers are wide receivers are wide receivers.
Right.
And if you have that quality third back, you flex the living piss out of them.
Yep. Took a chance on DHB.
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 That's what they called him in college.
That is actually what they call him in college. And it burned you. Alright?
Yep.
You'll live another day. Dick picked you Forget Favre. I went with the champ, so I'm 1-0.
Yep.
Dick's 0-1.
I'm not cutting that on me, by the way. I wouldn't have picked that.
Right, of course you
I
wouldn't.
wouldn't have picked that.
Of course you wouldn't.
Sure.
Alright, starting. You want to take the next one?
I'd love to. This next matchup, some of my favorite guys, of course, we talked about this fella earlier. Dave, Penn State Daycare. Winner on name alone.
Can't say enough about
versus the Hairy Boys, literally.
They are very hairy.
They're a hairy couple of fellas. But I'll tell you what, I don't know what they were doing drafting. I'll tell you what, this lineup is kind of garbage. I don't like it. You're starting a rookie quarterback, a Seattle quarterback. Literally, I'm taller than him.
Yeah.
Cedric Benson. Well, Packers sure run a lot.
Yeah.
I didn't like what they did. Penn State Daycare deserves to win this game.
I'll tell you, they still score 585, which is doable.
Decent.
It's a winnable.
It's winnable.
It's a winnable week. Jimmy, you can't go wrong with Jimmy. You're not going to get
Tight
a buck
ends
20
is not
out
an
of
issue.
Right.
Not an issue.
Not going to get a buck 20 out of Nate Kading every week. I think we can all agree on. The bench, Mojo's coming back. Randy Moss. There's some potential there.
And I talked to the fellas, and I think what I got from them, they were kind of expecting a rough start out of the gate.
Okay.
I think they'll do better.
I don't hate the team.
Sure.
I just.
But look at the team they played. Now that's a team.
Right. Holy fuck, Tommy Brady. What can you say? Again, 256, 2 touchdowns, mediocre. Puts up 80.
Think about what he'll put up this week.
Darren McFadden caught 13 balls.
That's the only guy I saw when I watched that game.
Stephen Ridley.
Who'd have knew? The Patriots don't run. They do
Demarius
now.
Thomas. Peyton's back.
Household name now.
Peyton's back.
Demarius Thomas, you're gonna know who he is.
Look, Dave. This is a quality team. We like you. We actually love them. I think we should.
I'm not afraid to say it.
Right.
I'm not afraid.
We actually love you.
My wife knows.
This squad is solid. Good work. Good job.
Just excellent. And that's a score. That's what you want to put up.
748. Can't beat it.
You know what the fun part is, too? His bench put up 436.
Drafted Randall Cobb.
He's the most sought-after waiver wire player right now.
It's him and Alf Morris.
Yep.
And he drafted him.
Ahead of guys like Ogletree and McCluster.
Leaves Garcon on the bench.
Don't need him. Didn't need him.
Right.
Fuck RG3.
Jesus. I took Davey to win, so I'm a 2-0. Tommy took the Harry Boys. He's 0-2.
I would have taken Davey to win.
Well, of course you would.
I mean that honestly, though.
Right, I know you do.
mean it honestly.
I know you do.
I'll tell you if I would have got it wrong.
You got the next one?
Oh, I think it's your turn, my friend.
Okay. We got Tasteless Platter Pie against Shiva Blast. I talked about those quarterbacks last week. Peyton and Stafford. Stafford had a god-fucking awful day.
Uncharacteristic day.
Right.
Sure.
God.
It should have been 4 interceptions. Did you see that almost last one?
Holy smokes.
Mother of God.
But Peyton comes in and saves his ass.
Why? Because Peyton Manning's Peyton Manning.
Right, he is.
That's why.
Can't beat it.
No, that was fantastic. And then look at his running backs, too. I mean, DeMarco Murray, you're not going to go wrong there. I think Trent Richardson has some potential. I mean, what I liked is he got 19 carries. Right. So he's going to be the guy.
Right. He's healthy.
I don't think that knee is the issue. You know, I take him over D'Angelo Williams every time.
I just don't
every single time.
I just don't think Whedon can throw for a first down.
Probably not. It's going to be rough.
Holy smokes.
I mean, how many interceptions did he throw?
16.
At least?
Might have been 16.
Right in the first quarter?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, my God.
It was awful.
That's rough, kid. And they almost won. Is the best part.
Right. Isn't that wicked?
That was ridiculous.
Julio.
Julio!
Can't say no.
I love him. I love him.
Just looks like a fucking man.
I was in a league with my brother, and he told me I was crazy for bidding 40 fake dollars on Julio Jones. Guess who beat my brother this week?
Right. Well done.
This fucking guy.
Well done.
Julio Jones is going to be a great guy.
Good job.
Fantastic.
Shiva Hernandez is solid. He's going to be solid. You're not going to get... You can't... I mean, look at his defense there. Bryant, Gerard, Mayo, Arizona. You're not going to get 200 out of your defense.
No.
I mean, you're just not. So, you know, we got some work to do there.
Absolutely. You know, in Chiva Blast, you know, you gotta start thinking, like, what does it mean for your team if your tight end is scoring the most points for you?
Right.
Just do a little work. I'm sure you'll get back on that saddle.
Scary.
You'll be all right.
Scary.
You'll be all right, but do some work. Do some work.
Did I say who we... Tom... Fucking Tom. Who the fuck?
That's you.
Oh, yeah. Tom and Dick.
Who did you pick? You were about to say it.
Tom and Dick both took Tasteless Platypus.
Both took Tasteless, huh?
Yep. So I'm 3-0.
Good call.
Believe it or not. And Dick finally got on the board at 1-2.
For the record, I would have been 3-0.
Of course
so
I would.
far. So far.
Of course
So far.
Let's see. Next one? You got the next one? Or you want
Sure,
me to
absolutely.
Okay.
You know, and this was a game. Guys, I mean, this is the game of the week. We got just a couple guys in the 700s. We got Rada Beatty's Heroes, you know, hosted by Luke Lee, versus TDs and Beer. I just figured out what that meant. TDs and Beer. I mean, that's good. Benny Ives, that's pretty funny.
Right.
But what a narrow victory. 747, that's an airplane. Runs over Luke Lee. Great victory. And you know, and who'd have thought RG3 would have been such a stud? I mean, what? Yeah. Busted out in high points. I love it.
Benny, I gotta apologize. I mean, I think last week I came out here and just really, I pulled down my pants, told you to open your mouth, and basically took a poop right in your face. Okay.
Not that we don't want to do that.
I mean, that's fine. I'm good with doing that, but I feel a little bad about it. This is a decent team. If RG3 is gonna put up a buck, whatever,
and we'll see. I mean, not to mention, what an advantage. Now he has CJ Spiller as the main guy.
Yeah.
He put up a 164 as the backup.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to be just jizzing right now, Benny. Just jizzing.
Reggie Wayne. I didn't see Reggie Wayne. I didn't see fucking. I mean, granted that touched Anquan touchdown. I don't know if you saw the replay there.
I did. You know.
I don't know.
I understand what they did. They went inconclusive.
Right.
There must not have been enough to overrule the original call.
Little embarrassing. I mean,
we knew it wasn't a touchdown.
I know that. But it was a little shaky.
But as a football enthusiast, you know when they do this. You know when they do it.
Yep. I'm always happy to see Rhonda Beatty lose. I just am. All right. Brings in a ringer last year.
Mm-hmm.
Rides him to the fucking chip. You know, on the whatever. Didn't he have the first pick or no? He had Rodgers carried over from last year on the first pick.
Right, and how annoying was
Brings
that?
in the fucking ringer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care that he scored 720.
Right.
And got beat. You know,
great performance, but you know what? I mean, good things happen to good people, and thank God. Thank God the shitty things every now and then tend to happen to the D-bags.
I just.
You know?
It's nice. It's nice. Unfortunately, I took Beatty, as did Dick.
And of course, being a man of integrity,
did you as well?
Reading your book.
Yeah, you did.
Of course I took him.
Mm-hmm.
Of course I took him. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you look at the matchups, you didn't submit a bad lineup. You submitted Steve Smith of the Carolina Steve Smiths. You know, I mean, I'll tell you, I mean, Jermaine Gresham, that wasn't a good call. But but tight ends don't.
But really, what's he supposed to do? He's got Kendricks. He's got Kendricks, and he's got to do something.
But he fucked up somewhere. 403 off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
There's room.
Yep.
There was room.
Certainly.
And a superior opponent's going to beat you when you do that.
Benny, hair piece off to you.
That's right.
You really did a good job there last week.
Way to go.
Did we covered pussy farts and pull-ups?
No, we did not. That's our next one.
We did not.
That's our next topic.
Okay. All right. I'll take that one. The pull-ups against pussy farts wet. Still don't really understand what it means. I mean, I get the comma, so it's wet.
Sure, pussy
so
farts.
It's wet pussy farts? That's what it means?
As opposed to pussy farts dry.
Right. Which is, God, would that hurt? What do you think?
I feel like that would just be like a weird air punch.
How does that even...
I don't really know.
Would that smell worse?
I would assume. There's nothing... I mean, just...
Because it's in...
Wet's on your face, but dry is in the air.
Maybe we can, when we get out on the street this week, we can ask.
Right.
We can do a few questions, ask a few.
That would be a great one for the poll.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Really like the pull-ups this year. That Drew Brees Matt Ryan combo seems unstoppable.
I'm scared.
On paper.
I'm scared.
On paper, how do you beat that?
You just don't. I mean, that's probably the best quarterback combination I've seen in a long time.
I would say that's the best in the league.
Oh, by far. By far. I mean, just look at the weapons that Matt Ryan has.
Yep.
And Drew Brees, now that it's not a man's game and he broke Marino's record, he's just great.
Can't say enough about it. Everything else, however, is fucking scary as hell.
It is. And you know what? He's lucky he played the naked pull-ups right now, because if you look at these running backs, you're never going to get anywhere with Sean Green. Ronnie Brown's going to play next game, and he'll either hurt his knee or he's just going to sit on the bench for the rest of the year.
Do you know how many yards Ronnie Brown had on Monday night?
I don't know.
5. On how many carries? Take one guess.
I'm going to go with, since he sucks, I'm going to go with 11 carries. 5 carries. 5 carries. Well, I'll give Norv a little credit. At least he figured that out early.
It's embarrassing.
Ronnie Brown used to be great. He was in the Wildcat. That was a run-based formation.
It's embarrassing.
Aye.
Garbage. Hot garbage.
And who does he have besides Ronnie Brown?
He doesn't have much to offer. I mean, he's got Sean Green, Pierre Thomas, Turbin.
Why wouldn't you have started Marshawn Lynch? That's my question.
Yeah, well, the spasms. He got nervous about it, I guess.
Guy's vagina spasms.
But he pulls it out. He pulls out the victory.
He did.
Look, Danny, naked. I mean, I don't even know if we've talked about that photograph. Did you spill a little bit?
I did. I'll tell you what.
Don't worry about it. We'll get one of the.
We need a better wine dispenser around this place.
We'll get one of the interns.
Where's our money going?
Nope.
To pay Dick?
His
bail? Maybe his bail? Never mind.
Hey.
Never mind. I'll tell you what.
What are you doing?
Sorry.
Jesus.
Sorry.
God. So the pull-ups, Sproles seems good. Really rough week out of his receivers there. I love Torrey Smith.
But yeah, they're good receivers.
Yeah.
But
week one off week. I'm going to tell you, Danny. I don't think you have anything to worry about. I'd say you have to get a new defense. But
yeah,
that was embarrassing.
It is lowest points out of anybody.
It's just downright embarrassing.
That's rough. That's rough. And the worst part is he could have beat his opponent.
Oh, no question. There's no question about it.
They're a good team.
But I think you're fine. Just next week start the right dudes. We all know how easy that is.
Oh my gosh. If I had a dime for every time I started the wrong guys,
fucking A.
I'd have 2 dimes.
Jesus.
2 dimes. But I've been there.
It's tough. It's tough out there.
It is.
Next one. You got the next one?
This is a good matchup. I was really excited about this game. You got Daddy Long Dick versus Mrs. Garrett's Heroes.
Divisional matchup, sure.
Divisional matchups. And here's the thing. It all came down to Mike Vick. This is why Daddy Long Dick got it. As you know...
Tough break.
As you know, I had the first pick of the draft last year.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife, Beverly Ubetcha, you know her.
Sure.
She told me...
Heck of a casserole.
Oh.
Heck of a casserole.
Oh, you're not the only one to leave that comment in the box.
Yep.
But she told me it's a bad idea to get Mike Vick on your team.
Why would she say that?
She told me that. She's
what were her
an animal
reservations?
activist, of course. But she told me it's a bad idea to get Mike Vick on a team, and I slapped her hard.
Did you really right in the face?
You want to tell me not to draft Mike Vick last year?
Holy shit.
I slapped her hard, but you know what?
Wow.
What did Mike Vick do last year?
I mean, your mustache and your hat say we're in the 50s, but I mean, you know it's 2012.
You know I don't like to admit I'm wrong.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, I don't like to admit I'm wrong, but
wow.
Mike Vick did not perform last year.
No.
And he's carrying that over.
Not one bit.
I mean, given he was in the dog pound, so I'm sure he wasn't well received. But he put up just a miserable
It was
performance.
atrocious.
Miserable.
It was atrocious.
I mean, is that a sign? Is that a sign of what's to come?
Yeah, it might be. It might be.
It's a red flag to me. I'll tell you that right now.
Completely
I
understandable.
don't like it when women are right,
Right.
but I'll tell you what. When she overcooked the roast, I didn't slap her as hard. I owed her that. I owed her that.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, you know, you look at Daddy Long Dick's team, you got Eli, who again, I fucking hate Eli Manning.
He's on both with my Eli
so
Manning.
bad. I mean, I watched the Saturday Night Live. Good.
Sandwich end zone thing? That was pretty
It was
funny.
funny. I mean,
Sure.
good stuff.
It's a real
God
comedian.
Damn it, Eli. Can you just do something right when I mean, that's going to be frustrating for you. What if it hits you on the arm and breaks your wrist?
I'm not getting rid of this coaster.
That's fine. That's fine with me.
This coaster means I help someone get boobs.
That is true. That is true. All right, so Welker. You nervous about Welker?
Tell you what, he is my bounce back player of the week.
Really?
Absolutely.
No kidding.
He's Wes goddamn Welker. I guarantee you, third down coming up on this Patriots versus Cardinals game, Tom Brady's going to hit him all day long. I'd start him. I mean, have you ever seen Welker have that bad of a performance? He didn't have that bad of a performance when he kicked a field goal in Miami.
I'm nervous that the tides are changing in New England.
Getting older, working for a contract, they didn't seem too enthused to keep him, but you can't keep a quality player down.
Yeah, that's true.
I'd start him
That's true.
again.
Sure.
That's not a bad. I mean, how unfortunate.
That's true. I mean, right. That's true.
He still won.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
Still won.
As for the heroes, Marshall's solid. K.
Absolutely.
Smith, who knows how long he can do it. That Isaac Redmond was
Wow, what a bad runner.
I would argue the dumbest start of the week by anybody. I mean, how you have D. Brown, Reggie Bush, fucking Doug Martin, basically anybody else on that team,
Absolutely.
and you win that ball game. Just a poor management by the heroes.
Absolutely. You know, that's a rookie mistake.
That commish.
You got to know your squad, and you can't rely on Mike Vick to do it all for you. You got to be smart about your running backs.
I mean, we've seen the commish do some embarrassing things over the years.
True.
Certainly.
True. And we've seen him do some bold things that have paid off. I've liked some of his moves, but I'm sorry, commish.
I'm going to tell you.
This was a swing and a miss by you.
I think he's a fucking idiot, and I would be shocked if he wins a game all season.
I didn't want to say it on TV.
That's where I'm going with it.
You know me.
We both, Dick and myself, had the heroes winning these games.
I would have had the heroes winning too, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, despite my wife's feelings on Mike Vick, I'm still a fan.
Sure.
But I am worried.
Yeah.
I am worried.
Reason to be.
2 bad starts, you know.
38 points in a high points league.
In a high points league.
He's got the Ravens next week.
That's a hell of a D.
That's tricky.
That is one hell of a D.
But okay, that's it for the recap. We've got a special guest, and we're just going to let it roll into that. We're not even going to tell you who it is.
You're in for a treat, though.
Until his face shows up on the screen.
Stay tuned.
With that, we enter our first interview of the Newbold Sports Rendezvous.
I'm excited.
Ken, great to have you back.
Double T to the 3.
Wonderful.
I missed you.
Wonderful.
I missed you.
We'll see you guys after the interview for our Week 2 predicts.
Stick around.
Well, I think we should recognize and welcome everybody's favorite league mate and owner, the man, Comma J, the J-Man, will be our first league interview this year.
And what a first interview to have.
I'm excited about it.
This is going to be great. I'm fantastic.
Who else would it be? You know?
Right, I mean, it's probably not even a surprise. I mean,
Right.
If there's anyone ready to get in front of a camera and say a thing or two, it's this guy. It's this guy.
So without further ado, straight out of Wyoming,
The owner of Pussy Farts Wet.
Man, Jay. Good to have you, bud.
Welcome, Jay.
Yeah.
Happy to be here on the Northwestern Hotline.
Jay, man, can't help but notice that none of your players on your roster, both starters and bench, scored over 100 points. Any concerns about the performance of your players in the future, or maybe even some second thoughts on your draft?
You saying my draft is worth a shit?
Well, I mean, the numbers don't lie.
Well, I will say that I don't know what round I drafted him in, but Ronnie Brown was a surefire miss. Not really too concerned because I did get a win. I am leading the division that I'm in by 1 point. Therefore, I'm okay.
Looking good to me there, J-Man. Looking good.
J-Man, Tom Triplehorn III here. Two-part...
TT.
Hey. Two-part question for you. In the league, which person, just as an entity, individual, do you hate the most?
Mataram.
Mataram, why is that?
Because he's ugly, he's got a tiny horn, and he cheats on the way he gets victories.
How does he cheat?
I don't have to say it. You all know.
I think we can revisit that question later. Who do you hate? Who do you hate playing the most?
Great question.
Mataram.
Mataram, a dual hatred.
Well, the reason there's a hatred in the front end and the back end is because his teams are loaded with mediocre talent, and whenever he plays my teams that are loaded down with top-tier talent, he always finds a way to come around the back door and get it in.
Okay, all right. Thank you, J-Man.
J-Man, we got Ken Ubetcha coming at you one more time. Now, you mentioned earlier you're up on your division with a real slim lead. What are your predictions? What are your predictions for yourself for the rest of the year? How do you think you're going to finish overall, realistically now?
Well, I set myself up with a good quarterback, a couple of good wide receivers. My running backs are horrendous. Going into this next game,
Couple holes.
I think it's a division. We're going for the division on this one. Week 2 to set ourselves apart. I like my matchups. My quarterback's better than his quarterback.
Can't argue that.
You know, in this particular case, he has Chris Johnson on his team, so he's screwed. He's got Roy Galoob. You know, I think
no one likes the Shanahanigans, that's for sure. No Shanahanigans will get you a championship.
Right. And then his wide receivers are weak, especially if Greg Jennings going out. I don't know. I like the way that my team sets up. Got a good defense. I got C. Wood. Got me pretty close to 100 points. You know, he was in the 90s, I believe.
Yeah,
correct?
you're bordering on it, and it's highly doubtful David Akers is going to get another 63-yard boot again, so you should be good there.
Correct.
Well, great. How do you feel about the rest of the way? What do you think you're going to finish up with? You think?
Gold medal.
Really, I don't know. You know, I did send you a text in the middle of the game when Aaron Rodgers had yet to throw for a first down and told you that the trade was bullshit, and I thought it was terrible. Ended up winning in the end, but, you know, I look at my team with a little bit of a negative outlook because I've sucked every year, and I'm fat.
It's a tough world. America's a tough place.
It is. Yep.
All right. Thank you, J-Man.
It's fantastic, J-Man. Good talking to you.
J-Man, Tom Triplehorn III here again. After coming so close to winning the chip in 2009 and then sucking literal penis for the last 2 years, had to be tough on not only your fantasy self, but also your soul in general, I imagine. How do you deal with something like that?
Well, being overweight with a tiny horn doesn't help, especially when your fantasy football teams are terrible. Let me first off by saying that Chris Johnson is the most overrated fantasy player in the history of fantasy football.
100%.
I struck gold with Aaron Rodgers and Chris Johnson 1 year when they both actually put up good numbers. And then I rode the Chris Johnson train all the way to the shitter. And I hate him, and I blame him for every bad thing that's ever happened to me fantasy football-wise, along with Mataram.
Perfect. Thank you, J-Man. J-Man, how is it possible for the only person not employed in the hip-hop industry to give himself an actual nickname so judgmental about trade procedures and basically anything at all in general?
Well, I think that's a two-part question. You're asking, how can one give himself his own nickname?
Right.
It's not hip-hop, because I've moved on from J-Man, man, comma, J, to the man cometh of J, and most recently just comma. And I believe Prince was a symbol at one point, so I don't know if he was hip-hop or if he was just straight-up good tune. So that's question number one, because I can. Number two, I'm judgmental because, like, say, Sheba Blast, when he offers me something, it's usually loaded down with shit, and then some even more shit, and then afterwards he likes to shit on my face. It doesn't make any sense. How can you honestly offer me Eli Manning last year for Antonio Gates, Jay Cutler, and who? AJ Green? I think that was the trade. How stupid can you be?
Hey, you guys.
Number one, you're ugly. Number two, you're fat. And number three, you have no talent, even though you're in a cool division, not the bottom division like the one I'm leading right now. Kamish?
Thank you, J-Man. Great answer. Great answer.
Yep.
All right, J-Man, this is the part of the show where we let you just run with it, say whatever you want, do whatever you want, take your pants off if need be. Basically, the commish wanted me to tell you that he's waiting for your next phone call during the NLCS this year to complain about the scoring system or the trades or whatever else happens that's his fault when your team starts sucking cocks. So why don't you...
I don't remember making any calls like that.
Oh, right. You were three drinks in, I imagine, at that point. Maybe a few White Russians?
I mean, I don't remember making any calls like that, but the scoring system sucks. Let's be honest. The defensive player, yeah. Okay, there was a point last year where I could have called the commissioner. I chose not to because, I hold my team and myself in a very high regard that I don't want to call the commissioner and complain because that's not who I am, okay? But when, who was it, Urlacher got a sack, a forced fumble, and picked up the fumble, and in one play got a 100-point swing, you're not telling me that the scoring system sucked.
Did he get a sack in that play?
He got a sack, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery.
Did he force a fumble?
What are you talking about? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So did he do all those things? Did the player in question do all of those things?
The player in question, yes, did all those things. But the fact is, in a high-points league, one play has a 100-point swing for a defensive player when it should be offensive.
If Tom Brady throws if RG3 throws an 88-yard strike to Pierre Garçon in one play, and Pierre Garçon makes, 105 points?
That's true.
Is that fair?
Is he on my team?
Touche. Anything else to add, J-Man?
No, just the fact that I'm 1-0. I look forward to the rest of the year. And again, I think the scoring system is completely fucked, and I blame that on the commissioner and his, gaggle of idiots that are helping him put this league together.
J-Man, I'm just going to tell you that this was a wonderful time. I had a great time talking with you.
Always a pleasure, J-Man.
All right, J-Man.
I'm going to be here on the Northwestern hotline.
Spectacular. J-Man, you take care. Have a good week. Good luck this week against Peanut.
Go get him.
All right. Best of luck to the entire league, and I hate you all.
All right. We'll see you, J-Man. Take care.
Wow. Media Gold. Fantastic interview.
What else would you expect from that guy?
Nothing less. Tell you what, that was the way to go.
It's a high bar for you guys out there.
It was. It was. If we can get anyone as passionate as this fella on this show, I'd say it's a success, huh?
If there's one thing he is, other than a complete and utter asshole.
Didn't want to mention that, but
right.
How do you get around it?
It is passionate. He is a passionate...
sure. He believes everything he says.
Right.
But what a douche.
Such a pleasure.
Ugh.
J-Man, good to have you. Thanks for coming in.
Stay in Wyoming.
We can't...
Stay there.
Oh, God, Christmas time. I can't even think of what Christmas time is going to be like.
Holly jolly indeed.
If you can imagine my hair getting any whiter.
I can't.
Shit.
I mean, literally, you're 27 years old.
I mean, right? It's gonna be embarrassing.
It's. Whew.
So there you have it, boys. There it was. We're looking forward to the next one.
You know what to do now.
Yep. Just let us know. I'll have the commish contact you, and hopefully you're up for the task. I think all it took, and the commish called me and said, it just took one text. Boom. J-Man was in.
Right.
Didn't even have to.
When you talked to the commission, how many text messages did he receive? I mean, is there a waiting list right now?
There actually was no waiting list.
No kidding.
Nobody contacted the commish whatsoever.
I mean, weird that he was the first one to jump on it.
It's a little surprised by that.
But you know what? I like it. I mean, I think he's gonna inspire some people to say a few words.
I hope so.
If I was in that league, I think I'd have a little something to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll see what happens there. But moving forward.
Absolutely.
Week 2.
I think it's time for the predictions.
Week 2.
I'm excited.
Mm-hmm. Exciting week 1.
Great.
Certainly some weird shit, some good shit, some mediocre scoring, some high scoring. We'll see what happens with these matchups.
It's gonna be interesting. Now we're settled in. Time to play some football.
Yep. We know a little bit more.
Yep.
Maybe we know a little bit less.
Sure.
Who knows? Should I start?
Absolutely. Jump
right.
into it.
We'll start with the Champs versus Penn State Daycare.
What a great match.
I mean, I'm excited about this one.
Great name versus the champions.
Two great QBs into Champs versus Brady, McFadden, Ridley. I'm going to take the Champs.
You like the Champs?
I don't want to. I don't want to do it.
Who would?
Right. But I'm going to do it.
I mean, you're predicting them to not even make the playoffs. However, if you look at these matchups, especially since Cam Newton really didn't put up. You know, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, he's got a banged up offensive line.
Yep.
He is playing the Browns, but
all day look
we'll
good,
see.
though.
We'll see. You know what? I got to agree with you, though. I'm going to go with the Champs on this one. This is going to be a close match.
All right.
You know, I'm not going to feel bad if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But I got to take the Champs.
Yeah. Okay. You got the next?
Having said that, like jump into the next one. We got Shiva Blast versus Forget Favre. I like these running backs. I love Arian against the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Against the Jaguars.
Yeah.
And Steven Jackson against the Redskins. We'll see if the Redskins can do it again. I mean, they haven't won that much lately.
Shit.
I mean, they got a spark. I'm going to go Shiva Blast beating Forget Favre on this one.
Good, like you said. Good backs there. Receivers are pretty solid. If Nix can bounce back a little bit.
He looked healthy. I think he's just listed as questionable just for shits.
Right. I mean, that Claiborne was on him all game. He looked good. The announcers compared him to Deion Sanders.
To Dion.
I mean...
to Dion.
Collie Hart! That's right.
Oh, there's my goddamn shoe.
Son of a bitch.
There it is.
You're everywhere, aren't you, Collie Hart?
That's where it went.
Always got to be the center of attention. Look, Henry, I went away from you last week. Look what happened. Okay, you lost. All right, I'm gonna go with you this week. Might be the kiss of death. I don't care. Shiva Blast. I like your style. I like your squad. But I just feel like I gotta give my boy some love. All right, especially since you've been calling the commission's parrot all these years. You know, I feel like.
I laughed hearty with that nickname.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny.
I just feel like he takes a bad rap. So I'm gonna send him some love from the streets. See what happens. Lord knows with this jacket, that's where I'm at. You know.
Absolutely.
It's a tough world out there.
Oh, indeed.
Right.
I like it.
All right. You got the next, or I got the next one.
Why don't you take this one?
We got naked pull-ups versus the Platypi. Platypi strong showing last week.
Extremely strong showing.
If Stafford can do any better, he might be unbeatable.
Hard to do worse. And you know, I just think it was nerves.
I mean, Richardson against the Bungles. I know you're more apt to give Richardson credit than I am.
He's getting carries. He's gonna do well.
I'm scared. I am frightened of what he is right now.
I mean, those are tough quarterbacks to go up against. But, I'll tell you what, if all he's got to do is put up this game, and they take it. They definitely take it. So you thinking tasteless?
Well, I mean, Danny gave up 30% of his budget this week.
True.
To get Alfred Morris. A lot of,
Oof.
I mean, putting a lot of eggs in a basket. He's still got.
He's got a hunch.
Right.
You got to roll with that hunch.
Still got Breeze. Still got Ryan.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the naked pull-ups.
No kidding.
Yeah,
no kidding. Just looking at this matchup, this is what I'm seeing on paper. I like these quarterbacks. I think Trent Richardson's going to have a great game.
Okay.
I think, he's going to do well against the Bengals. I love, as you know, Julio!
Mm-hmm.
I think this squad is just top-notch, and I say tasteless platypi beats these naked
I mean,
pull-ups.
for me...
What a matchup.
Yeah, this is the matchup.
What a matchup. I'm excited.
I can't fault you for picking him. This either way.
Sure.
You got to go somewhere,
I mean,
Right. Next one.
now we got the Harry Boys versus Rhonda Beatty's Heroes. It's always good when Rhonda Beatty's Heroes loses.
Right.
Here's the thing about the Harry Boys that I do like. I like the depth in their squad. I think they're going to do some different moves this time. I see they're starting Russell Wilson, Ben Rapelessburger. Maybe he needs to rape a burger, and he'll do a little better.
Perhaps.
Then maybe he will.
Club's closed.
But I'll tell you what, Jones Drew is back. I think their squad is up to full blast. I mean, these guys have made the playoffs starting Thomas Jones.
Right.
Most of the time, I think these guys are idiots, but they've never missed the playoffs.
How the fuck did they do it?
How?
I don't know.
Well, I don't think we're supposed to know that. They just win.
And they had the Sanchez one year too.
They had Sanchez last year.
That was
Last year, and they were a game away from the championship game.
Holy smokes!
I'm gonna go with the Harry Boys on this one. It might be an upset pick, but I'm gonna go with the Harry Boys on this one.
I'm gonna tell you, Rhonda and I are just not getting along lately.
Who gets along with Rhonda?
Love Luke as a human. Love him. I mean, just a sparkling character out of that one.
Just a gem.
I'm not sold on Joey Flacco. I'm just not. I'm just not. All right.
I mean, how many passing yards do you think you could get against Cincinnati?
Right.
At least 320. I've seen you throw.
I mean, for a small guy, I got a decent arm with this jacket.
I'll
keep this jacket.
I'm just saying, you could do it. It wasn't a real tough team for your opener.
Right.
I
mean, you look at these matchups. I gotta take THB as well. I gotta take the boys. Jermaine Gresham is a fucking joke.
Who would draft him?
He's a fucking.
Who would draft him?
You might as well start fucking. I don't know. Collie Hart.
Collie Hart.
I mean, you might as well.
Yeah, I know what the difference would be. He'd catch a ball.
He might
catch a ball.
He might.
Yeah.
Oh God. I'm gonna go with THB on this one.
I like your style.
Thank you.
Trip.
Thank you.
Good call.
Next one, we've got TDs and beer.
That cracks me up every time now.
Benny
every time now.
Benny Ives is just a classic figure.
TDs and beer.
You can't really go wrong. Against MGH, Mrs. Garrett's Heroes. RG3 showed me some things last week, and I'll tell you, if he pulls a Cam Newton and just...
You want to know what the difference between him and Cam Newton's going to be? Is he's going to win more than 6 games.
I think he might.
He's got and you know what? A lot of these fellas, they come off a big victory and they screw the pooch, but the Rams are a perfect team to play after that kind of victory.
Yeah.
I say RG3 repeats his performance. Philly Riv is probably a little upset that he only got 1 touchdown, and I think he's going to throw some more.
He looked good.
LaShawn McCoy, CJ Spiller is the guy now.
Yeah.
Reggie Wayne and Anquan Bolden, Witten's getting a little better. I love this lineup.
Yeah.
I just don't see how the commish has a chance.
I don't think he does.
I just don't.
I just don't. I'm taking the beers there.
Sure.
I'm gonna need to see it. I'm gonna need to see it with MGH before I.
Oh, me too.
I mean, there's just not enough.
Yep.
Middle of the road, just a middle of the road pack there, and it's a shame.
No, I mean this is. I almost want to call this my lock of the week.
Really?
Yep.
Holy
I like
smokes.
TDs and beers.
Holy smokes! You willing to shave that mustache if you're wrong?
I'll shave it.
Really?
I'm wrong.
Or at least the soul pet. I mean, one of the two. What do you think?
Do I get to pick which one?
Yes, you do. You don't have to display it now. You think about it.
That's good because I can let the other one grow. It'll be featured next week. But I will get rid of one of these if I'm wrong.
Okay.
If I'm wrong.
All right. That said, I'm gonna go with TDs and beer. I need to see it from the commish before I give it to him again.
Definitely TDs and beer.
Yep.
All right, moving on to our last matchup. Our buddy Pussy Farts Wet versus Daddy Long Dick. A name that has hung with us since the start.
I mean, again, is he the only one? He might be the only. Well, THB. THB's one with
Mr. Garrett's Heroes.
They switched it up.
They did switch it up.
They switched it up, I think, last year, and I don't even remember what
that might have been the mistake.
I don't know. Bad News Bears.
Right?
Tasteless Platypus as well has been with us.
That's been one of my favorites. But I'll tell you what, Daddy Long Dick, I think takes this.
Really?
This is my upset pick of the week. I realize they're going up against Aaron Rodgers, but I'll tell you what, I think Sean Green stinks.
He does.
He just stinks and he smells bad.
He does smell bad.
Is it?
Steelers going against the Steelers.
Steelers, there's always upsets. I think Wes Welker, I'm going to say it now, Wes Welker is my comeback player of the week. Gonzo's hot. I think Chris Johnson's going to have a good game. Apparently A.J. Green is the only guy in Cincinnati that can catch a goddamn ball. I don't think he's going to catch anything except for a goddamn virus.
Joe Hayden's out. You're right. Joe Hayden's out.
I'm just saying, I'm going Daddy Long Dick right now.
I'm going to disagree.
Which makes sense.
What can I say? I'm just going to highlight this for you.
Sure.
You just read this name
I'm going to
for
read
me.
it. Sure.
You just read that name.
Oh, is that the guy who threw for over 5,000 yards and won the Super Bowl? Our mouth breather, Ellie Manning?
Yeah.
Against the Buccaneers.
I just can't. Yeah, that's true.
Against the Buccaneers.
I just hate him so much.
Well, maybe I'm wrong. They did stuff Cam Newton.
I hate him so much.
So they stuffed...
I'm going to highlight another name for you.
Sure.
You ready?
Yep. Alex Smith. I believe his team played better than the reigning MVP's team.
Right, he lit up the Packers, who gave up 5,000 yards.
I guess which isn't saying much because the Packers' defense last year gave up the most yards in NFL history. But what about the weapons?
I know.
You know what?
You're right.
I bet the rest of my damn body hair that Randy Moss gets a touchdown from Alex Smith.
Okay.
But you're not, I'm not saying you're wrong.
I'm going to give you one more, and that's it.
Give me one more.
Ready?
All right.
How about that one? You can't argue with that one, can you? You just can't.
Chris Johnson.
You can try.
Chris Johnson.
What was it? 11 carries for, or 6 carry? What was it? 11 carries for 6 yards, or?
Yeah, as a fantasy owner, you got to be frustrated because the talent at least was there. It's upsetting the dogs.
Right.
With his performance.
They're freaking out.
They are, and it's just, he can do so good. But the thing is how good did Darren McFadden do last week against the Chargers?
Okay.
So I gotta have a little bit of confidence.
Okay, that's fine.
A little.
Fine. That's fair.
But this is my upset pick, and because I don't think you're wrong, Trip.
Okay.
You're a smart guy.
And I appreciate you going on a limb, taking a chance. I appreciate it.
It's an unpredictable game.
Lord knows I appreciate that.
Sure.
I'm more conservative.
I gotta catch you.
I'm so afraid,
some of these
right?
picks.
That's true.
I'm behind.
That's true.
I'm behind. I had to bowl. Guess what just happened? Guess what just happened?
10 pins.
10 pins. Fell down.
I'm gonna go with Pussy Wets. Or Pussy Wets? I can't even.
It works for me.
Just take another drink.
Why do we gotta say farts? Pussy Wets kind of sounds like a good time.
That's what I want.
You had fart, now I'm out the door.
Right. Right. I hear you.
Okay. Well, I had a lovely time.
I'll tell you. It's good to have you back.
Oh, I missed you.
I missed you.
I missed you.
I missed you a lot. I missed your hat. I missed your scent. I missed everything about you. Really great job.
Where I belong.
I think we need to. Have we forgotten to thank our sponsor?
Oh, I think we did.
Been on 1 week.
That's a good way to get a deduction in the paycheck, huh?
Right. Way to go. Well, we'll just.
They only broadcasted Josh Osterman.
Right. Next time I might be here with half a fucking suit jacket.
Ooh.
I'd
like to see that.
They might just dock that.
I'd like to see that. to be honest.
Let's
tuxedo T-shirt maybe.
Why don't you take it away though?
I'll tell you what, we'd like give a special thanks to the Northwestern Finest Sandwich Hotline. If you haven't been to this place, you need to get there. Kamish loves it.
But I'll tell you, that commish called me from there today at lunch. Yep, having the Reuben. Big fan of the Reuben.
You do a great job with that Reuben.
Can't really beat it. Can't really beat it. I know my other co-host in the Pants League.
Oh yes,
Sports Rendezvous.
Absolutely. He has been a frequent visitor of that place.
Skips there 6-7 times a week.
He gets that hemlock, which is a menacing name, but one heck of a good meal.
Yep, can't beat it.
Oh. Absolutely.
So that's it. We'll just give a shout out to the Northwestern Hotel and Lounge. Just a fine establishment.
Great establishment. Got us on the horn with Mr. Osterman.
Yep.
I mean, he's hard to get a hold of. Yes. He doesn't live here.
He's working out there.
You know?
He's working. So, all right, boys and girls. This was the second edition of the Sports Rendezvous Newbold.
We thank you for joining us.
Yep.
You know, and for double T to the thrice.
And Ken goddamn Ubetcha.
We bid you a very good night.
Take care, boys and girls. Good luck this weekend.